Okay, welcome to your marketing class again. Again, we are in this natural beauty with the nature. It's very much important and it's very much pleasing to teach, right? Now, in the last lesson, it's about lesson number 3. We talked about the value proposition. Again, but we talk about custom value proposition. We need to talk about the product and the brand value propositions as well, right? Now, once we talk about the product and the brand, so we need to manage products, we need to manage what? The brands as well. So in here, we'll be talking about product management, we'll be talking about the brand management, and we'll be talking about brands and branding. So product management, it's about what we'll be having product portfolio management. Now, what are the portfolio management metrics we'll be using here? So it can be the Boston Consultancy Group where you have the stars, cash cows, dogs, dodos, problem childs. Likewise, we'll be having these things in the what? BCG matrix. So if we talk about the GE matrix, the General Electric matrix, so that will be also what useful for the product portfolio planning. Now, why it is important to have good product portfolio? If some product fails, so there will be other products to safeguard your company. That means like you are not keeping all eggs in one basket. Now, if you keep all eggs in one basket, if the basket falls, your all eggs will be destroyed. So if you keep 2 eggs per each in different baskets, what will happen? Different baskets, what will happen? So your eggs will be, now let's say your some of the baskets fall, so your eggs will be safeguarded. So in that case, the product management is very much important and product portfolio planning is very much important. You need to have that knowledge in order to manage your product portfolios, and we'll be talking about the product life cycle, we'll be talking about the diffusion of innovation curves likewise. So I have made a promise, once I'm starting this lesson series from lesson 1, I have talked to you and I have promised you that we will deliver this knowledge to you. And once you talk about the branding, brand is not what? Tangible. You can't touch the brand. In this lesson, I'll tell you how to touch the brand and how to make this brand tangible. You know the brand values, it values billions, right? 80 billion, 100 billion, 123 billion. A lot of companies are there, they're having that brand value. So we'll be talking about the Quaker Oat story as well when it comes to brands. Then we'll be talking about the tools which is available to measure branding, brands and branding. So we'll be talking about brand prism, we'll be talking about the acres model, we'll be talking about the brand onion. A lot of tools are there. So we'll be talking about those things in detail in this subject or in this lesson. So this will be with a lot of surprises, and like the other lessons, this will be with a lot of surprises. So assuring you with a lot of surprises with knowledge in this lesson. Let's go to that lesson right now, right away. I know that you can't wait. Can you remember that song? It's about I know you want me, you know I want you. I know you want me, you know I want you. I love that song right now. Okay, let's go back to what your lesson right now.
We are starting lesson 4 right now. It's about product and brand management. Let's straight away move into the learning. Major learning outcomes in this chapter. So the first learning outcome is about knowing the concepts of product management. Second learning outcome, it's about explain the concepts of branding. That means like you'll be able to explain the concepts of branding. Then the third learning outcome, it's about benefits of branding. What are the benefits of branding? Then the last learning outcome, it's about methods of building brands. So these are the 4 learning outcomes under lesson 4. Let's move. Now, once you discuss about products and services, sometimes they say a product or service is a package of benefits that satisfy a set of consumer wants or needs. Now, once you take a product or service, now in the last lessons we have discussed about and focused about, we have discussed about how the products and how we are going to deliver the values and all those stuff. But in here it says like if it is a product, so it is being seen as a package of benefits. Now, anyway, it's package of benefits, not about few features. It's about benefits that satisfy a set of consumer wants, and it's now, let's say, one product category is there that satisfies one product, one benefit range, and one product category, other product category which is there is satisfying another category of needs and wants of customers. Likewise, once you discuss about products, it's about you can have three types of, that's about tangible things, tangible products, intangible products, and you will be having services. Now, for an example, if you say it's a tangible products, it's about what? Food, drink, household appliances, cars, likewise. So intangible things, a holiday, like a pension plan, insurance scheme, something like that. Then once it comes to service, this is provided by, like, services can be categorized into the services provided by, like, professional firms like accountancy or law firms. Likewise, then you'll be having our famous advertising agencies who's coming in handy once you're planning your campaigns. So that's about that. So it's about tangible, intangible, and services. And make it a point now. I have given you some examples, but it's your duty. This is not a spoon feeding class for you. It's your duty to find what are the other examples which you can find which are falling into these tangible, intangible, and services categories. Right? Then let's the goods classification. So these are simple stuff again. So you can classify goods according to these facts, starting from shopping goods, convenience goods, specialty goods, fashion goods, and unsold goods. Now, once you take shopping goods, it's you can name it as like examples. So you can have toothpaste, fruits, vegetables, and tin foods, right? Likewise, so convenience goods, it's about ready-made meals, pizzas, frozen TV dinners, and all that thing. So we know about that. Then the specialty goods, it's about what? It's about mobile phones, tablet computers. So likewise, you'll be having these smart gadgets and everything. So you'll be having fashion goods. It's about clothes, shoes, and accessories. Then unsold goods, it's about insurance, funeral services, fire extinguishers, likewise. Now, this is in a nutshell what you call as good classification. So you know about that. There are 5 types. So we have discussed about the types as well as the examples as well. Now, the organization purchase. Now, we discuss and focus. Now, let's say you are an organization who deals with consumer. So in that case, you are operating in business to consumer scenario. Now, if an organization needs to purchase something from another organization, so that will act as B2B or else business to business scenario. Now, organization purchase can fall into 5 categories. It's about installation, and it's about accessory purchase, it's about raw material purchase, it's about component purchase. Lastly, it can be about supplies purchase. Now, for an example, if you take installation, it can be your PABX system or phone system, maybe printing machines you have. Then for accessories, it can be the satellite navigation systems you have. Then for raw materials, you can have flour, oil, steel. Maybe for, let's say, if you're in apparel industry, so it can be your fabric, trims, and all that. So those can be raw materials for you. Then the components, it can be the wheels, semiconductors, likewise. Then the supplies, it's about stationery, or it can be printing ink as well. So that's about organization purchase. Always make it a point to remember it's not B2C, it's about B2B, that's business to business. Then we are coming into the product management. Product management. Now, as you do the day-to-day management in your organization, you need to manage products. If you don't manage products well, so it will be very hard for your organization to succeed and sustain its position in the marketplace. So the product managers normally, now if you take product management, there has to be a product manager. So the product manager is normally responsible for adjusting 7 P's of marketing mix. What I mean by 7 P's? Product, price, place, promotion, people, process, physical evidence. So that's about he's the he's the experienced expert who knows how to have the correct mix, how to alter the price, how to alter the product benefits. Likewise, now this is an operational role, not a strategic one. So if you're a product manager, that's a what? That's an operational role and it is not a strategic one. But make it a point to remember you can't avoid a product manager. You need to have a good, clever product manager in order to operationalize your strategy. Why? The strategy is operationalized through these operational roles. Operations and tactics has to be there. So that's about the product management and the product manager's role. Now there's a 15 minutes question for you. And in the slides itself, I'm not going to take 15 minutes. But based on the above description, drop down 5 bullet points. 5 bullet points, key 5 bullet points on key functions of a product or brand manager. 5 bullet points on key functions of product or brand manager. So I'll help you with one. So let's say he's in charge of a product called, let's say, one car. So he'll be having some ideas on adjusting the prices of the car, as well as he'll be having some ideas of pitching the car into different markets in a planning his promotional activities in a different way in order to position it in a different segment in a beneficial way for the organization. So in that case, so that's one what key responsibility of the product manager. Likewise, think it for yourself. Other four, not other four, it's about 5. I have given you one example. So it's your duty to write 5 more. So you know our email address. So no problem with that. So you can always come to us and send us these answers. Right. So there's a question for 15 minutes. What areas under product manager? Now I'm giving you some examples again. It's about what? Keeping the marketing plan on track, making sure that objectives are met. So we have smart objectives. So smart objectives are met. Then maintaining, updating information on target audiences. We discuss about that thing as well. Now everyone is not your customer, right? Everyone is not your customer. Then you will be having the trend analysis on the product or service, the competitive side. What is the proactive approach that you are going to go ahead with? What is my trend for my products? What is the pricing strategy, promotional strategy? What is the trend that they want? Likewise, then you'll be having what? Managing the client agency relationship. So you'll not the agency only, like you'll have to liaise with other third party stakeholders as well when it comes to product manager. So make it a point to answer that question. Don't write the same thing again, right? These are some examples for you. Okay, now again we are talking about that thing, discussing. It's about anticipating and developing latent demand. Now, latent demand, then you have to like latent demand in the sense like we need to anticipate like what the consumers will need in future. So in that case, you need to identify this latent demand. Now, key objectives of the marketing is to influence the prospective buyer. Key objectives of the marketing is to influence the prospective. It again says areas under product manager. It again says convince the buyer based on the value that proposed transaction generates. Now let's focus again with regard to latent demand. What do you mean by this latent demand? It's about the demand for a product or service that a consumer cannot satisfy because they do not have enough money, because the product or service is not available, or because they do not know that it is available. So developing now. You need to anticipate and developing the latent demand, and knowing about latent demand will be helpful for you to set your pricing and other strategies. So because of that, you'll be able to set up good objectives, as well as you'll be able to convince the buyer based on the value. So it's again with the flow when it comes to areas under a product manager. Then we are going to discuss about a major thing. What is this major thing? It is about the anatomy of product. Now, have you heard this term, the anatomy of product, the levels of product, or something like that? So let's look into that right now. Now, once you take any product, you will be having these 4 stages of uh, the product levels, right? Then you will be having the core product, then you'll be having the actual product, and you'll be having the augmented product, and you'll be having what? The potential product. Now let's take the product, what do you call, let's say the product, it's a car. So if you take the product car, the core benefit of that product is transportation. That means like from A end to B end you need to go. As a method of transportation, you can use the car. So the core product, it's about transportation. In order to access that product, you need that tangible actual product. So you are going to access that transformation need through the mechanism of what? Car, right? Then what do you mean by the augmented product? What color my car is it? How is the horsepower of that car? Then what do you mean by the potential car? So that means we are on the drive right now, because we know Uber has already tried, and it's in operation, I guess, the driverless taxi. So it's in operation, and Google has tried that thing before Uber, and that's the potential, that's the product all it can be, right? So once you discover a potential product, so it will be again coming into the augmented product. Once you innovate again something, so it comes the potential product. Now if we take core product, it's about the functionality and the key benefit of that thing. Now let's take some cake. Let's say it's a product is cake. It's about what? Maybe as a key benefit of that thing can be hunger for sometimes, right? Then the actual product is for it's about what? Features, ingredients, design, packaging, color, likewise. Then for extended product, what you have, yeah, what you all be having, like extended or augmented product, it's about what? It's about after sales services, guarantee, the brand repairs. Then you'll be having the trading, corporate ethics, like that. For the potential product, it's about what? This is all the product could be. So in a nutshell, that's about anatomy of product. So let's go. If you discuss about core product, it's about basic benefit and benefit that all products in particular group have. For example, all cars are forms of transport. So we discuss about that example. Then actual product, it's about include the features required access the core benefit. A car has an engine and a steering wheel. That toothpaste has a tube. Now toothpaste, it's about what? Cleanliness of the uh, tooth, right? So in that case, you'll be having that thing. Likewise, so that's the actual. And the augmented product, it's about what? This includes the extra features which differentiates the product from one another. And a car will have certain level of after sales services and or warranty, for example. Then the potential product, in the slide it says the Google is trailing the driverless car, but it has already been trialed. And Uber is trying driverless taxi. And this is all about, or this is all product would be, right? So once it has been tried, it's again moving into the augmented product. So it's becoming normal. Then to the 45 minutes question. Oh my God, what is this? It's about Coca-Cola. I love Coca-Cola. Right. So describe the anatomy of product for product or service in an organization of your choice. Now let's take Coca-Cola. So it's about what? The core benefit. It's about thirst. Mm. It's about test. So that's about this. The core benefit, the core product of that thing, the actual product is what? The Coca-Cola. So that's about the features, the ingredients you have, the packaging, the color of that Coca-Cola. Then you'll be having the, that is about the augmented product. It's about what? It's about the hotline they have, the guarantee they have, the brand you have, the training, the corporate ethics that brand has. So likewise, that is about what? The augmented product. So what will it be for potential product when it comes to Coca-Cola? Can you remember? It's about 5 or 6 years back they were developing this drinkable advertisement. Hmm. Then have you seen now share the race. I can't remember the exact thing, but share the human values or something like that was advertised by Coca-Cola, and they were saying like we have stopped all advertising budget because we need to help out the world to defeat COVID. So that can be something related to the potential product, and we really don't know Coca-Cola will be in sachets, right? Sachet packets when it comes to Coca-Cola, I really don't know. So that can be the potential product for you. That's it, right? 45 minutes question. You can just turn off the video and you can go ahead and try this one. The question is what? Describe the anatomy of product for a product or service in an organization of your choice. So make it a point to select an organization of your choice which is familiar to you. Then we are coming into where it's about the product life cycle. The product life cycle. Now let's see. Now once you talk or once you discuss about this product life cycle, like humans. Now let's say I am Charmer and I have been a baby, then I have been a toddler, then I have been a teenager, then I have been a guy who's in 20s, then I have been a guy in mid 30s. So that's about the stages of life cycle. So I when I'm going to 40s, when I'm going to 50s, when I'm going to 60s, 70s, 80s, I'm going to die. So in that case, same thing with the products. So the coming into the market, introduction will be there, then there will be growth, then there will be maturity, and there will be decline for products. So likewise, like human life cycle, products also will be having these life cycles as well. So we'll be having two axes for that thing and 4 stages for my product and all products. Then in one axis you'll be having what is the cash inflow of that product or maybe outflow. I'll tell you why it calls as outflow sometimes. Then you'll be having time here, and you'll be having introduction, and you'll be having growth stage, maturity stage. Lastly, there will be a declining stage for the product. Now there's this curve that's about sales. That's about sales. Now you can see the sales is starting from 0, and introduction stage it is the growth rate is very lower, but once you come into the growth stage you can see there is an exponential growth which is going in there. Then slowly you are moving into the maturity stage where the growth is stagnated. So once you go with the maturity stage, so you'll be going down to the declining stage because the market is saturated. If you don't innovate yourself when it comes to products and services, like if you don't innovate on their benefits, or if you don't innovate, or if you don't improve in the customer value proposition, your sales is going to go down. So let's focus on profits now. It's about what now? You can see in the introduction, the profits are starting somewhat late than the sales. Why is that? So there will be a period that the company is investing, organization is investing in the product, so that there will be no income for the product. So that's why I told you it's about the cash outflow, that thing. So introduction stage, you can see at some time you are going to get through the break even point and move into the profits. So more profits also follows the same trend pattern of the sales. So profits also going to go like declining stage, and it's going to be in there. So there will be introduction for profits, growth, maturity, and decline with the time. So those are the stages of product life cycle, simple and easy steps of product life cycle. Hope now you know uh, very well with regard to product. Now, again, in the slide, it has been mentioned for you for your easiness development. It's about here the company will typically investing, earning no income. So that means before the introduction, there's a method or what stage called development. Then you will be introduction. Revenue may grow slowly, and the company may still be making losses as well as growth. This is where the rapid growth begins. The maturity, this is where the growth is minimal and saturated, and declining is there. A short-term recovery may be possible, and the obsolescence is there. It's about moving out from the market. Then you'll be able to map these elements into your products in your organization, and you can see where your organization products stands right now. There are some criticisms once you use the product life cycle as a marketing tool. The first one, it can be difficult to determine what stage the product is in or predict how long each stage will last. So it will be hard for you because in for some perceptions, in some mind frames, they'll be thinking, okay, it's in growth. But in some mind frames, it's no, there's no growth. It's in maturity. Likewise, then time the product will spend at any stage is too unpredictable, and not all brands becomes obsolete. Now, let's take for an example. Let's take Ford. Let's take BMW. Let's take Mercedes. Let's take Coca-Cola. Let's take maybe let's say KFC. So likewise, if you take all these brands, not all brands becomes obsolete, right? So then the theory overemphasizes says the NPD at the expense of mature product. So once you reach goods maturity, so you are requested by product life cycle to innovate yourself, but innovation or invention and to have NPD, it's very much costly and risky for the organization. That means we really do know where we should actually start by using the product lifecycle. But you can use it, but you need to have good experience and past lessons and learn and best practices, controlling and monitoring mechanisms as well. So these are the some of the criticisms once you get PLC as a market. Then we are going to focus on the new product development. It's about as products becomes obsolete, you can substitute them with new products. Now, NPD is very risky and costly and have high failure rate. It's very risky, costly, and high failure rate. Elon Musk, you can refer to that story. No worries, right? NPD is very risky, costly, and have high failure rate. And NPD allows you to refresh and extend the range, then enhance your adaptability, then contribute to the success of company long-term business strategy. So it has to be long-term once you're planning on new product development, because you need to have like, this is the capital that I'm going to invest in my new product development. So when I'm going to recover that thing, maybe 5 years, maybe 6 years, when I'm going to recover that thing. But it is a must that organizations should innovate in order to have a good strategy in the organization. Let's focus on the new product development process right now. We are starting from idea generation, idea screening, concept development and testing, business analysis, then you'll be having product development, market testing, and you're going to end up with the commercialization. So let's go into this let's go into detail right now, starting from idea generation. Many companies encourage their employees to come up with constantly with new ideas, whether relating to the process modifications or completely new products and services. Customers can also be a source of new product ideas. Techniques such as brainstorming, attribute listing, and problem analysis can generate ideas as well. So that's about idea generation. So all ideas can't go through to the concept development and testing. So there has to be a screening process for that thing. You need to filter the ideas in order to eliminate those that are unlikely to succeed. Screening should include questions such as, is this idea technically feasible? Is it truly of beneficial to customers? Can we deliver it for reasonable price at a profit? So we need to have some of those questions as well in the screening stage. Then we are moving to the concept development and testing. Now the idea has been now filtered through the idea screening. Then we are going into the concept development and testing. In order to test the new product, you need to make an experimental prototype or small batch of them. This allows you to study the perfect production techniques and provides a model to test with consumers. At this stage, marketing will want to produce packaging or even storyboard to test the marketing concepts. So you can even do the test the marketing concepts as well. So after developing the concept, you are going for the business analysis. It's about what? You have to draw up a business case for the board for each new product you want to develop. Now you need to present that thing, including a full description of product and its benefits, the target audience, cost estimates, sales forecast, return on investment, and market share. Then after doing that thing, the board will be giving you the approval for the product development. Now, this is the stage where you produce working prototypes or batches. You can provide samples for home testing or for testing in retail environment and use the result to iron out the glitches. You should define the marketing mix for the product at this stage. You should define. Now the product manager would come here, right? Then you'll be having what? The full scale marketing testing. So what is it? Full scale market testing. At this stage, hopefully not before the competition, finally become aware what you are doing and you can gauge the public reaction. But some companies are tempted to skip this step because of what? For cost and speed to market reasons. But it does allow you to make adjustments to the marketing mix. Now it has to be there because now full scale testing you need to go in there. So market testing. Then after the market testing, you are going for the commercialization. That's about your launch. Then I can remember one great example for that thing. Now Shell and Ferrari. I can remember, like Shell, the technical partnership with the Ferrari in Formula One dates back into inaugural F1 season, like 1950s. It's one of the longest running and most successful partnerships in Formula One history. And a team has won 12 driver titles and 10 constructors title powered and protected by Shell's race fuel and lubricant. So it means, like, if you are going a Ferrari, so you are going to have Shell powered lubricants and fuel. So there's a case study for that thing. You can read that thing by using online platforms. So that's about product development process and the details about that. And branding. Now I'll put you some question. It's about, are we buying brands or products? What's your view? Are we buying brands or products? Are we buying brands or products? Now, for me, I buy both. Let's say now once you look at these the pictures which are on the slide, you can see there's a lipstick and you can't see a brand on there, and since you like the color, you are going for that thing. And you can see a Apple iPhone, so you're going for that branded thing for that thing. Then you're seeing a pair of sunglasses or shades. So it's again, you can't see a brand there, but it's again a branded something. So it's a question for you, but if you like a product, yeah, you'll be going for that thing. But if you fall in love with a brand, I really don't know, because, like, if you fall in love with a brand, that's for yourself. I really don't know. Like, you are not going to go away from that thing. Unless otherwise, if it is not being dissatisfied to the maximum. So brands and branding, you need to have that bonding, because now people buy products, but the customers are engaging with what? The brands, right? So you may be knowing some examples, because in day-to-day life cycle we know, like, okay, give me that thing, give me that thing, and all that. So we are specifically saying, I give me that brand, and give me that brand of razor, give me that brand of lipstick, give me that brand of shades, give me that brand of the perfumes. Likewise, you'll be going for brands and brand. Categorization of brands that will fall into these seven categories: FMCG, service brands, B2B, professional brands, entertainment brands, non-profit brands, corporate brands. So under FMCG brands, you'll be having the classic area of brands and marketing. Typical examples can be Dow Zoop, and you'll be having Heinz Zoop. Detergent, Colgate toothpaste, likewise. So that's about FMCG brands, and you'll be having service brands like what? Hawking and Shanghai Bank, that's HSBC and Admiral Insurance you'll be having. Then the B2B brands, you can have Hilti and Intel. Then professional brands, you can have E&Y, that's about Ernst& Young, McKinsey. And for the entertainment brands, you'll be having Manchester United and Sky. And for not-for-profit brands, you'll be having Oxfam and BBC, for example. Then for corporate brands, you can have M&S, as well as that's Mark and Spencer, and as well as Coca-Cola. So that's about categorization of brands, because we need to know the category. We are moving into the brand definitions. So American Marketing Associations defines a brand as what? A name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a combination of them intended to identify the goods and services of one seller or group of sellers, and to differentiate them from those of competition. Now, for an example, let's say in the picture you can see hell of a lot of brands are there, but you need to identify these brands, because you are creating the top of the mind awareness of brands for that thing. Now, let's say there are some of the beverage brands out there. So in that case, you will be able to remember and recall the image of Pepsi. You'll be able to remember and recall the image and the wordings of Coca-Cola. Likewise, you will recall the brand name Strong Brands. Now, Keller 2008 describes the brand as something that has actually created certain amount of awareness, reputation, and prominence in the marketplace. So that's according to Keller. But American Marketing Association defines the brand according to what the slide says. The roles and the elements of the brands are there. So you'll be having, because of the brand, you'll be able to differentiate. So let's talk about or discuss about the Coca-Cola's example again. So differentiation about Coca-Cola's example, it's about the taste of Coca-Cola. Then the recognition, it's about what? The Coca-Cola's red color logo and corporate colors, that's about red and white. Then the fonts, they have that the fonts, the Coca-Cola's fonts, and registrable name, it's about Coca-Cola. And transferability, that means your product portfolio, you'll be having Mint Maid, Sprite, Fanta franchise operations in the countries as well, island-wide as well as worldwide. Then psychic value, it's about what? Happiness and fun. The premium, of course, I'm really not sure about this premium value. You need to check on that thing. So that was ended up with 84, and I think now it's about 79 or 78 billion US dollars. That's about the brand value. So differentiation, recognition, registrable name, and you'll be having the transferability, psychic value, and the premium. You'll be having something called the brand equity. Now, once you call brand equity, what comes to your mind? It's about Akers 1991 define the brand equity as a set of assets linked to the brand's name and symbol that adds to the value provided by the product or service to form and that firm's customers, to a firm and that firm's customers. Now, major brand asset categories include the brand name awareness, brand loyalty, perceived quality, and brand associations. Now, let's say if you have high brand name awareness, high brand loyalty, high perceived quality, and high brand associations, that means like your brand equity is going to go high. So on the other hand, if you have medium, that's medium. If you have on the other hand, it's about low, you are going to have a low brand equity. So that's about brand equity. Now we're going to talk about or discuss about the benefits of branding, starting from improved perception of value. Now, for an example, if you say like if you know brand, let's say you are going to buy an Audi. So in that case, you know the Audi is going to deliver you this much of quality. So that's the improved perception of value. Now, I'm not going to dissatisfy with an Audi, the interior appearance, because I know that brand is going to deliver that promise of quality for me there. Then the trust, that's the trust that I'm going to have. Then less vulnerable to competition. So if you have a strong brand, let's say you are having a strong brand like Apple, right? Now, once the Apple is there, it's about what? Now we know the other brands like Chinese brands, it's about Huawei, you'll be having Oppo, then you'll be having ZTE. Likewise, now how many models coming up from those brands per year? So it can be maybe like ranging from five to maybe five versions. Whereas the Apple is not vulnerable to produce their new products in that rate because it's about less vulnerable to competition and less vulnerable to crisis. Now, let's say your product has been failed. Now you know about Samsung, right? Samsung's Galaxy's Note thing has failed, and that the negative image was carried out through the social media. But since they were having a big product portfolio and since they were having a strong brand name, less vulnerable to crisis, now people are flocking around flocking around Samsung to take Samsung new launched phones and product appliances. So that's about what? Less vulnerable to crisis. Then you'll be having larger margins. Yes, straightforward. More inelastic for response price increases. If you can increase price, yes, why not? People will buy it because of your brand. Then the platform for brand extensions, you will be having a chance of brand extensions. You can go franchise operations, possible of licensing opportunities will be there. You can start the worldwide operations. So that split up, I would take the brand's trademarks and goodwill. You could have all bricks and mortar, and I know I would be fair. I will be far better than you. So this shows this gentleman has this gentleman has gone and known about century ago. So that's about brand loyalty and how a century ago John Stewart has stated about the value of brand loyalty and brands. It's starting from prospect, customer, client, support, advocate, partner. Right. Hold on for a second. I'll tell you the story of ladder of loyalty. Now, let's take an example. Like you are going to go to a restaurant. Let's say now you have got your first job in out of the town, and you are going to go to the main city of your country, and you are going to have a temporary accommodation, and you are going to find some good place to have your dinner. So once you are, finished with your work, you are going to have dinner. So likewise, let's say near to your temporary place of staying or annex, or maybe let's say your flat. Near to your flat, you see a place that's eatery shop is there. So you are going there, and this eatery shop's owner or the chef or the waiter says, okay, hi, how are you? You are new to this place, okay, and you are going to have that thing, like let's say you are going to eat your dinner in there. And let's say now after a week you have been travel there. After a week, if you are going there again, you have been a frequent traveler and you have been a frequent prospect there, so you are going to be a customer. Now once you are walking into the same restaurant or the eatery shop, so the waiter will recognize you. Hi, how are you, John, and everything. So he'll be knowing you by name, and you will be knowing him by name. So in that case, you are going to be a customer for him. Then he says what? Okay, you have these other elements that which companies with these things, and you can have your lunch in here. So we will be delivering you the lunch to the office. So that's become a client, right? Then what it comes now, once it comes to a client, he'll be a supporter for the that eatery shop, then he'll be saying like, okay, now once the recipe is not okay, he'll be saying, here, waiter, it's not like this. Tell your chef it's something wrong with the food. So if you are going to continue with that thing, you'll lose other customers as well. So he'll be talking on behalf of you, right? So once it becomes normal, he will be an advocate. So he'll be going and telling other friends of the office and the other colleagues at the flat, oh, there's a eatery shop like that. Go there and eat that thing. So they're providing wonderful stuff. So that's about what advocate. He acts as an advocate for your organization. Then they go as a partner. How he becomes a partner? Now let's say you have that eatery shop around the corner that's about near to your flat, whereas another eatery shop, he has started the operation. So in that case, what he says, he comes there, hey, look at, there's a competitor who's coming there, but I'm not going to go there, but you need to do something and start something new in order to attract customers, because otherwise the customers will move in there. So that becomes partner. So that's the story of ladder of loyalty. So you are going to become a prospect, then you are going to become a customer, then you are going to become a client, supporter, advocate, and a partner. So the first three laps of this ladder of loyalty is focusing on winning the customer. And the second three part of that thing, what it's focusing on? It's about emphasizing on keeping the customer. So that is the story of. Now there's something called brand identity and brand image. Now, what do you mean by brand identity and brand image? Is it the same? I don't think this is the same. And I'll tell you straight away. And if you want more details on that thing, I'll be having that thing in one of our knowledge paths with regard to Huawei Eats Apple. So you can refer that video as well. Now, brand identity means what? What the organizations thinks about themselves, and brand image is about what their stakeholders thinks about the organization. So that means organization says we are the number one telecommunication service provider in the country, whereas brand image says customers use. I mean, I don't think like you are number one. You boast like you are number one, but you are not. So that's our brand image, that negative one. So brand identity is what? What organizations thinks. Brand image is what? Is what their stakeholders are thinking about the brand. Then now we are going to talk about or discuss about the brand onion. Now, what do you mean by brand onion? Now, it says what? It says what? Because it has called so called as an onion. Why is that? Because of its layers. Starting with the vision of what the brand should be, the brand onion reveals the heart or core of the marketing offer, along with the layers that make it up, including the brand values such as emotional content, personality and desire, and the position in the marketplace. It includes brand attributes such as physical and technical properties and the functional brand benefits as well. Now let's discuss about the vision. It's about what? A snapshot of the future. Then what is about values? It's about a belief system, a way of what? A way of a belief system, a way of working and communicating. Then the externalization is going on, personality, that's about inform all communications and consumer perceptions. Then it's about positioning, it's about a summary of the brand in relation to competition in the consumer's mind. So that's the external positioning by this internal vision and value personality. Now, the relationship in here, it's about what? You will be having your vision, values, and true personality through employee branding. You are going to position that thing in external market. Then you are having another model which has been developed by Jennifer Aker, 1997. It's about develop a framework for measurement of brand personality, which she broke down into 5 core dimensions. So LV has sincerity, that's about down to earth. For an example, under sincerity, it can be down to earth, honest, wholesome, cheerful. Now the excitement will be there. It's about can be daring, spirited, imaginative, up to date. Then you'll be having competence. It's about what? Reliable, intelligent, successful. Then sophistication, it can be for upper class or it can be charming. Then there is ruggedness, it's about outdoorsy or tough. So that's according to Jennifer Aker, 1997. It's about brand person. Now, then we are going to discuss about the brand prism. Now, under brand prism, you will be having constructed sources, then you'll be having internalization, then you'll be having externalization, then the constructed receiver. Source will be there, receiver will be there, externalization, internalization. Then we are starting with physique. This is the basis of the brand. The physique of Volvo would be what? Safety and reliability. Now, after physique, we are coming to the personality. In Aker's personality model, what if the brand were a person? So, if you are answering that thing, what if the brand were a person? So that's about the personality. Then we discuss about the culture. This culture symbolizes the organization and the values of its country of origin, for example. Now, then we are going to discuss about relationships. That's the handshake between consumer and the organization. So that can be your loyalty points you have, the call center you have, maybe the digital platforms you have. Then you have the reflection. It's about the consumer perception of what the brand stands for. Now, for an example, Coca-Cola is perceived as young and fun lifestyle brand for an instance. So that's about brand prism. Now, let's just focus on self-image. Now, what do you mean by self-image? Then the last part, the customer's own image projected onto the brand or vice versa. Customer's own image. Now, then we are going to discuss about how to position a brand. Now, once you're dealing with how to position brand, you need to first determine the competition. What is the level of competition you have? Now, once you discuss about the competition, please refer some videos which you have done with regard to Porter 6 forces that will help you to determine the competition. Then you are going to determine the competitive dimensions. You are going to determine the competitive dimensions. So what dimensions that you are going to have the competition. Then determine the competitive positions. What are the competitors, their positions and all that thing. Then determine the consumer dimensions or customer dimensions. Depending on that, you are going to have what? Design the position data. So you are not just thinking of like, okay, all of a sudden I'm thinking, okay, this is the position I'm going to have, but it's not going to success for yourself. You need to determine the competitive dimension, competitive positioning as well as customer dimensions and decide the position to adapt. Then what we will be doing last, track the positioning. So you need to track the positioning in order to say that is it over positioned, under positioned or correctly positioned. So that's about tracking the. Then we are going to discuss about the portfolio planning, product portfolio planning. This Boston Consultancy Group's metrics or BCG metrics helps you in handy once it comes to product portfolio planning. Now you'll be having high market share, low market share, and high market growth, low market growth. Likewise. Then we'll discuss about the first quadrant, that's about star, high market growth, high market share. A brand in a growing market with larger share of market than most, it has good revenues and profits, but usually needs a lot of marketing support. Star. Then you'll be having the problem child, that's about the question mark you have. It's about low market share and the high market growth is there. A brand in a growing market but with small share of market. Such brands have great potential but are also in a risky situation. They are also referred to as question marks because marketers need to work out how the brand might develop. So that's about question marks. Then we are coming into the cash cows. Cash cows, it's about low market growth, but you will be having high market share. A brand in mature markets with large market share maintaining its position requires little effort or investment. Such brands generate incomes which can be invested in other needy brands. Like if you have a problem child there, you can invest from cash cow. If you have a star which is needing marketing support, you can invest from cash cow. Then you will be having lastly, it's about dog, the brand that means low market growth, low market share. The brand also in stable market but with smaller small or declining share of market, unlikely to be profitable, such brands are candidates for phasing out from the market. So that's about Boston Consultancy Group. So you'll be having your product portfolio like A to B to C to, maybe you can name it. You have your product portfolio and you will be able to categorize those products and prioritize your investments in the product portfolio management by using Business Boston Consultancy Group matrix or BCG. We are going to discuss about again the branding strategies available. So you'll be having branding strategies like brand stretching, line extension, and multi-branding. If you discuss about the brand stretching, it's about launching a modified product or entirely new product with the same brand name into the same or similar category. So that can be brand stretching. Under line extension, launching a new product closely related to the existing one. That's about line extensions. Then you'll be having, lastly, it's about multi-branding, having several brands in the same category as many big organizations often have. Unilever, for an example, has many toothpaste brands. So that's about multi-branding. Now, a Virgin Group exemplifies brand stretching. Virgin has attached a lot of criticisms from people who believe it stretched its brand so far from records and an airline to cola to wedding outfits that Virgin no longer stands for anything other than its founder Sir Richard Branson. Now, McDonald's, which has been failed, for example, McDonald's, which is normally very good at sticking to what it knows, has made a mistake. For example, McPizza, they have launched a McPizza. It has failed. Consumer didn't buy it at any cents. So that's about the McDonald's McPizza failure example. Now, you have activity here. So, have an activity here. You can calculate the relative market share for each product and brand of your organization. You can do that once you are free. These are the sum up questions today for this lesson. So, we have a quick run up for this lesson. Let's sum up these questions right now. The first question is about describe the limitations of product life cycle. That is straightforward for you. And how will you practically apply new product development in your organization? NPD. So you know the new product development stages right now: idea generation, idea screen, likewise ending with commercialization. And what are the layers of brand onion? You know about that thing, why it is so called brand onion. And in BCG matrix, what is cash cow? We just discussed about that. What is cash cow? BCG means what? Boston Consultancy Group matrix. This hurdle question. Now we are going to qualify for this hurdle question if you have if you have been through from the hurdle question. That's about lesson 1, 2, 3. Now this is lesson 4. Describe the concepts of branding and benefits of integrating existing branding into the new offering for your organization. Now, describe the concepts of branding and benefits of integrating existing branding into the new offering for your organization. That means like you're going to launch a new product in your organization. How you're going to integrate the existing branding in here, but you need to describe that thing by using one of the concepts we have discussed in this lesson. So it can be the brand onion, it can be the acres model, it can be the brand prism as well. Now let's really into this thing, hurdle question. Now, concepts of branding. So you can go for brand personality, brand vision, brand image, likewise. Then you'll be having the benefits must focus on delivering customer value. Now it can be making customer aware about the brand and increase the customer loyalty and competitive differentiation so that the consumer will not be confused. And you need to have the brand equity. So once we talk about the brand equity, we discuss about 4 elements for that. So make sure that you cross refer to the video again to look at what do you mean by brand equity. Then the third bullet point in structuring, it's about further you need to discuss on how it benefits the organization as well. Now it has to benefit the customer as well as the organization. So it encourages the loyalty and the purchase and improve the cash flow and revenue as well. So you need to focus and structure the answer like it's about having the concepts, benefits to the consumers, benefits to the organization likewise. So that is the way of structuring the answer. So we discuss about today we discuss about the product management. Then we discuss about the product manager's role. Then we discuss about we talked about the brand management. Then we talked about the brand management frameworks. Then we discuss about the portfolio management. Then we discuss about Boston Consultancy Group. So make it a point to remember these things in a way, because you can make use of these practical concepts when it comes to practical scenarios. Now in ArcTube, what we do is we are sharing knowledge which can be applied in practical scenarios. Now reaching the end of the product and brand management, brands and branding. Now you know how to identify the attributes of brand, because we need to make the brand tangible, but we can't make the brand tangible because of what? If we do not know the attributes of the brand. So so you know the answer for now. Answer for that thing. It's about are we buying brands or product? Okay, you can always refer back to the video and check our discussion on what we were focusing on for that thing. And I think it's about a happy day with a lot of surprises of product and brand management. But make it a point, the models which we have discussed under this lesson can be applied. These are not just generic models just on books which cannot be applied, because well-known renowned companies, renowned brands, all they have make use of this model. So this is the end of product and brand management.
Hope now you are clear with product management, brand management, product portfolio management. We have talked about some metrics when it comes to product management, the BCG metrics, the GE metrics, and we talked about those things. You know how you are going to plan your investments when it comes to product portfolios. Then we talked about the brand prism, the acres model, the brand onion, and a lot of models with regard to brand, and you know how to make your brand tangible as well. So we talked about the product life cycle as well, introduction, maturity, and we talked about those things as well. I hope now you all are having good understanding of brands and branding. So that delivers again what? The value proposition. So you should know the product proposition as well as your brand proposition, and you should work out your brand values. So if you're having a brand with good values and a good big value when it comes to brands, that means you are strong and far ahead in the competition. We know some brands existed maybe more than 150 years, so that means brands are very much powerful. So you need to focus on that thing, but you need to know the basics. So we know the basics right now. So from the basics you have that foundation. So use that foundation and these elements for your betterment of your organization. So till we meet on our lesson number 5. Bye for now. So have a great day. We'll meet you soon.